So at about 1:30 lunchtime here in Nigeria, MTN Nigeria Communications PLC will be listing 20.3 billion ordinary shares of 2 kobo each at 19 naira per share. And according to the stock exchange notice, the trading symbol in the trading engine of the NSE will be MTNN. So this is the day, as it were. Let's get a bit from an analyst perspective into what the pricing, the listing, and all of that will be on the floor of the exchange. Live to us this morning from FSL Securities, Victor Chiazo, Head of Research. Thank you so much, Victor. This is the day everyone's been looking forward to. Victor, can you hear me? Okay, I guess we're trying to get that together there with Victor Chiazo, Head of Research at FSL Securities. MTN Nigeria Communications PLC will be listed straight onto the premium board of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. There are a few companies on the premium board. You have Forte Oil, you have Dangote Cement, and a few others. So it's the what they call the big boys club of the billionaires boys club of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. When you're in the premium board, the rules are tougher. The corporate governance requirements by the Nigerian Stock Exchange are also tough. Then you need to have the right float, of course, as a listed company. So it's the premium board where MTN is going straight. Then we'll start reporting MTNN from this afternoon. 1:30 is when the Nigerian Stock Exchange set the time for the listing. Then, of course, the company will be closing the market today. MTN Nigeria Communications closing the market this Thursday, the 16th of May. Then after that, there will be what are called the facts behind the listing. The MTN has spent the last couple of days meeting with analysts, the investors community in the country. And this morning, as we speak, a similar meeting is still taking place in downtown Lagos before the listing proper. Later in the day, we expect the management team and board of MTN to arrive at the Nigerian Stock Exchange at about 12 o'clock to meet with the council of the NSE for final preparations before they get down to the 8th floor where the listing ceremony will officially take place. So let's get, I think we'll have Victor on audio very clear now to talk to us. Victor Chiazo, the Head of Research at FSL Securities, is joining us to have this very conversation about questions being asked about how much will this come. Yes, 19 naira per share, but how far will this stock price go? There's going to be heavy demand at the open. The company is not doing any IPO, so it's the existing shares that have been listed. Those shares are already held by some investors. So, Victor, talk to us. Good morning. Welcome to the yellow day. Victor, if you can hear me, we want your views about this listing. Bring us up to speed. What you know, what are you looking forward to with this listing by introduction? Okay, I think we have a bit of a technical issue there dealing with that. Let's bring you up to speed. What's the big story from Nigeria's political capital? For the second day, we expect the central bank chief Godwin Emefiele to continue his defense before the Senate as far as his reappointment for a second term in office by President Buhari is concerned. Yesterday, he told the Senate Committee on Banking and Other Financial Institutions that rough and tough times are still ahead and everyone should be prepared. He based his comments on the fact that Nigeria is forecast by the World Bank and the IMF to have a population in excess of 250 million by the year 2050. So Nigeria's population rising very rapidly to about 400 million by the year 2050. So Godwin Emefiele believes that we need to make policies and actions that will help the country provide for its teeming population. Of course, he was sounding like President Buhari did in March when he reportedly told some cabinet members that there will be tough times ahead, in particular during his second term in office. He will be officially sworn in for a second time on May the 29th. So the trading floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is live to us. Victor, I think we've sorted that out right now with the technical team. So Victor Chiazo, Head of Research at FSL Securities. Victor, good morning.
Good morning, Bosun.
Yeah, thank you so much. What's your view about this listing? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Bosun, it's good that we're having one of the major companies in Nigeria coming to list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I think it's going to bring a different mood to the market. We've seen that the market mood has been bearish for a while. So hopefully we believe that MTN coming to list today, though by introduction, should change the market mood and bring some form of positivity, and probably some bull run might actually come back to the market. In general, I think the mood is positive, given the MTN numbers and long-term projection for the company. I think it's something that the market is going to smile about, and we expect other companies to do the same and come to the market and list and make our market more robust.
Key question folks are asking is, you listing by introduction means these are existing shares held by existing shareholders. So how do I get into what's already been held by others?
Yes, that's going to be a bit tricky, because now they're not doing an IPO, they're doing listing by introduction. So we expect shareholders who already own these stocks to come to the market and offer it at a listing price at 19 naira, which the company has actually informed the stock exchange that they are going to be listing the price the stock at. So the tricky part is that shareholders or investors need to talk to their stockbroker and tell them, okay, I want to acquire a particular sum, credit account, and actually place a bid on the market. But the problem is, and the tricky part is, will shareholders who already own this stock be willing to offload this stock at 19 naira? That might be the tricky part. So that will where a bit of a demand and supply pool might come in. They might actually want to exit their positions at probably 110, 120, 95, 120. But we'll see how it goes. But definitely for you to buy, you need to have a stockbroking account and talk to your brokers to place in a bid for you today. Hopefully we see how the market is going to react. But if you look at take a time down memory lane, we see the likes of Caverton, we've seen the likes of Jais Bank come to the market to list by introduction. For them, those periods, some of them had some listing volume of about 3 million, some had about 5 million. But depending on how the initial shareholders see the market, they might actually decide to wait and expect price to go higher before they come and offload their shares in the market.
Yes, so we're just presuming, Victor, that this 20.3 billion ordinary shares of MTN Nigeria Communications are already held by some investors, perhaps maybe a small portion not already been held, which will come to the market. But again, like you said, the tricky part is this is where we have every reason to believe that the forces of demand will be more than that of supply, starting with today. So if I'm making a call to my broker and say, look, I would like to get in on this game into MTN shares, it will be naive to start thinking that I'll be able to get it at 90 naira per share. That would be very naive.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that would be nice, because the truth is that everybody's in this business to make some form of profit. If I was holding MTN, definitely I won't be letting it go that easy at 90 naira. I'd actually want some price appreciation before I decide to let it go, because the truth is that MTN still holds a lot of long-term positive gains. So why would I want to offload at 90? But though the company has actually said they're going to be coming with an IPO sometime in the future, so that's something we might be looking at. But coming to list, I believe today, tomorrow, and as price appreciates, we might begin to see some significant liquidity in the market, and at least investors can actually have a bite of the MTN share.
Yes, listing on any exchange by any company is often described on the trading floor as undressing in public, which means that as a company, once you go from private to public and you're listed, then you're naked before everyone, as it were. So being listed on the premium board of the NSE means that the corporate governance requirements, all of that will be very tough on MTN as it's tough on others who are already listed in that very small club of big boys.
Yes, I agree with you. The information that hit the market told the investors that MTN was going to be listed at a premium board. It came as a welcome development because I wouldn't see any other company that is actually qualified to be in that premium board outside MTN. I think MTN actually qualifies. This is a company that actually pays dividend, interim, final dividend, year after year. Aside from when they had the issue with the NCC fine, that was the only period that they took a pause in terms of dividend payment. In terms of their corporate governance standards, I think they have an A rating with regards to their corporate governance. So I think MTN coming to the market, now they need to actually be ready to open their books for more scrutiny from investing public, both analysts, both shareholders. And I think they need to be on top of their game, because the truth is that the market will only reward any company that can actually report quarter-on-quarter growth, year-on-year growth, and reward investors with a decent dividend. And I think for MTN, looking at their numbers, return on equity of about 90%, that's quite impressive. And expecting a payout ratio of about 80%, I think that's quite a good one for the company. I think coming to the market and listing its 1.8 trillion market cap, I think that is going to take market cap as at yesterday to about 12 trillion, and that is quite good. Market cap to GDP currently is about 8%. That will actually push it higher to about probably 10%. And the more blue chip companies come to this market to list, the closer we get to the 20 to 25% market cap to GDP that we should at least have as a base.
Okay. In terms of valuing the company, MTN is into telecommunications, whatever, is most likely will be one of the front runners with agency banking, whatever it is that the central bank is working on. Then again, you look at MTN has a foundation, is also spending quite a lot of money in corporate social responsibility. So as a head of a research and all that, if you sit with the guys who are putting the numbers together, do you think this will be part of what investors will be considering when they're thinking of how do we price this listing price of 19 naira higher, looking at the entire size of MTN, not just as a telecom company, but the various other things that the company is doing?
Yes, I agree with you. Investors and analysts will definitely be pricing the future earnings of these companies and looking at that to determine the price at which they can actually buy and they can actually exit this company. For MTN, if you look at their Q1 numbers, you remember that you recall that about 79% of revenue came from their voice, while about 16.6% came from data, while 2.9% came from fintech. I think the space of data and fintech is the future for MTN. And with them going into the mobile banking, I think that's also a space investors will be looking at. If you recall, the entire banking space, about 11 banks for 2018, rating about 124 billion in terms of electronic transfers, against about 80 billion they rating in 2017. That shows you there's a lot of volumes, a lot of good transactions going in terms of electronic transaction fees. So I think that is an area that MTN will be looking to key in to actually boost their revenue in both top line and bottom line. So I think going forward, increasing revenue in their data space and increasing revenue in their fintech will actually be something that investors will be looking at. Once they get the mobile banking license going, I think that will be a key driver in terms of price appreciation for this company. And I think investors that are able to get their hands on MTN shares should not be quick to let it go in a hurry.
Yeah, when you get such a company, you put it in your back pocket. Thank you so much. Victor Chaz, I'll see you on the floor later today, 1:30, about lunchtime. MTN listing, Victor Chaz, our head of research at FSL Securities, talking to us about that very big day on the Nigerian market.